Okay, hold on. What do I have open here? One of Destiny's best baits. Who did we get with this one? Breitbart, Cernovich, Kat Kanata, Catturd, Sarah Gonzalez TX. Is she a representative or a state legislator? Our Russian friends, the Finder, based. She's a Fox News person. Oh, is she? Is she? I meme, therefore I am. Is that a big account? Grums, this hard. Laura Loomer, Orrin McIntyre, Clown World, Sean Davis. I don't know some of these accounts. Sir Doge of the Coin, the Hodge Twins, Wall Street Mav, and yeah, on Fox News, I guess. 18,000 comments. How bloodthirsty. Based. This will be the video if you want to watch. Ben Shapiro and I talk political de-escalation. My God. 826 comments. Oh, shit. I'm about as big as an Ezra fan as you can be, but I've just found him so lost in this moment. I heard him in his intro and heard how scared he is, and maybe it's that simple. This country can survive Charlie Kirk's death. It's no worse than many acts of political violence we've seen. It can't survive grifters, social media algorithms, and evil authoritarians using it to rip this country apart. There needs to be more discussion on the latter and less of the former. And this conversation can't happen through discussions with Ben Shapiro or by saying Charlie Kirk practiced politics the right way. The issue, I think, is that there's two things at play here, I think. The first thing is that these people are your colleagues, and you really don't want to believe that it can be that way. It's hard, like you read, if you read Lauren Southern's book, when I was in New York and I was hanging out with her in fucking one of Elon's apartments, like, we had a huge fight, and that mind fucked the fuck out of her. Because for a lot of these people, like, political disagreements are just memes, right? They're just like things that you do online that are funny. I'm autistic. I actually care about this shit, and I don't agree with that, and it pisses me the fuck off. And when I see people in real life, I get mad about it. I'm like, this is fucking crazy. You guys are insane. But for a lot of people, they're like, after the show ends, you shake hands, everybody's cool. Sometimes you hang out afterwards, you run in the same circles, you share a lot of the same media contacts, a lot of the same political contacts. Like, it's all just like part of like this kind of thing. And so there's an unseriousness about it that results from the personal relationships, number one. And then number two, and this is like kind of scary / sad, is you don't really want to think it's gotten this bad because we have some kind of, I don't know if you'd call it a normalcy bias or what, but you probably don't realize the direness of the moment until you're already in the moment, you know?
History of America, which is the racial history of the United States, which is truly horrifying. That in his person, he was basically going to be the capstone of the great movement toward Martin Luther King's dream. And when instead things seem to move in the opposite direction, which was, well, it turns out the black...
We're good. Yeah, that people, you don't really want to think that, like, is it really this bad? I got radicalized hardcore, not radicalized, but like it stuck in my mind a lot. And I repeated a lot. That comment on my subreddit where that guy typed in, remember, they'll defend gallows. And I realized at that point, I think that was the thing that shifted my brain into thinking of like, okay, well, we can't think about what they're defending Trump doing now. We have to think about what would they defend Trump doing. And that's why I shifted a lot of the conversation to like, do you think Trump will run for a third term? That's not an interesting question. The question isn't, do you think Trump will run for a third term? The interesting question is, will you defend him if he does? And that's where most of them will say yes. They'll admit to it. And that's the shift, is that it's not about what they support Trump doing right now. It's about what would they support Trump doing in the future. And the answer seems to be almost anything. I don't know where any lines are drawn at the moment. Doesn't seem like there are any. And so I don't necessarily fault Ezra Klein for taking this approach. I feel like I'm watching a lot of other people, Pisco with the left, I guess maybe Ezra Klein with the right, going through this like discovery process of like, these people are... Oh, and that's the third one actually too. The other side, they just don't think it's that bad. They really don't think that Trump is that bad. They don't think that things are that bad. That kind of plays with my second part, but yeah, that's true too. Ben's livelihood depends on feeling hatred. True. The president refuses to condemn violence and has spent his entire time in public generating cross-aisle animosity. It's not some secret. Trump is the reason we're seeing the spike in violence, and kumbaya moments like this do nothing to quench the fire, especially when Ben won't make any concessions. Like, there is an opportunity on these shows, right? Now, this would be another thing where if Ezra Klein did it, maybe there'd be people critical of him, maybe even people in my audience, whoever I haven't banned yet, would be critical of him. If Ezra Klein would say something, would have the conversation that I had, okay, not try to lionize myself, but if Ezra Klein would be like, Ben, I want to know what you think about political violence, and then Ben does some weak, whatever bullshit. Well, I think a lot of us on the left or whatever, blah blah blah, and Ezra Klein saying, I don't believe I would ever condemn political violence in the face of a conservative if you guys aren't willing to own a couple things on your side and say that there should be like a lowering of the temp. If that were to happen, I think that a lot of the talk would be about that. I think a lot of people would blame Ezra Klein for not making some concession or whatever else. I know that there wasn't the Charlie Kirk shooting here, but then the conversation could be more focused on that and it'd be more honest rather than this talk, which will pass by largely unnoticed and fade into the background. Because I'm not being mean. I love Ezra, okay? We're mind-melded brothers sometimes. This talk meant nothing and will fade away into meaning nothing. Nothing of great significance was spoken about here. I guess it's a little bit of an insight into the delusional conservative mind. How do they rewrite history? It's a little bit funny to make fun of Ben Shapiro saying the worst moments of Obama were like the times he talked about Trayvon Martin and Henry Gates or whatever. But for the most part, this will slip into the past and be completely and totally forgotten. I feel like Ezra is missing the point of a lot of the people to his left criticizing his article. I think it breaks down into three basic levels of misunderstanding. One, when Ezra says that Kirk practiced politics normally by going to college campuses and talking to people to try and persuade them, he is deeply misunderstanding or misrepresenting what the goal of those appearances was. Yeah, that too. And this is true too, and I try to harp on this, but obviously I'm like a debater, so maybe I have like an incentive here. Charlie Kirk was not a guy who went to these college campuses looking for honest debates. If he like set up a stand and was like, let's have a debate or whatever, that would be one thing. But these were massive, like, orgy, circular, masturbatory events to trash college kids that were unprepared or ill-equipped to do these types of debates. Why do you think that we had to sneak into the last Charlie Kirk event, right? Why do you think that security came up and talked to me about, even being there? It's because they don't want people that can actually vigorously defend their left-leaning beliefs. They can only take the weakest, the college kids, the people who are outnumbered, that have a mic handed to them by some other guy that works for TPUSA, Kirk was not there to convince the liberals of anything. He was there to do hack roast comedy of cringe liberal freshmen for his radio show's base. You can see it in the last question he ever answered, and every question before that. At no point was he trying to convince the people he was talking to that he was right and that they should come over to his side. At best, he was trying to convince conservatives in the audience of his intellectual superiority by dunking on basically children. Kirk was a deeply violent political figure. He was not someone like Ben Shapiro, ironic given the episode, who even if I don't respect his views or how he carried himself, I can at least admit I've never heard him advocate violence. Kirk bussed people to J6. He called for gay people to be stoned according to biblical law. I don't remember hearing that. He wanted trans people to be lynched like we used to. I don't remember hearing that. Fuck. These things might be true. I haven't heard the clip itself. He wanted to bail out Paul Pelosi's attacker. He did say that. He has called for civil war, to crush the left multiple times, maybe. He was not a normal pundit. This is hardest for me, but I think Ezra is either overexpressing empathy as a fellow pundit. Oh, true, you got that. Or falling into understandable cowardice in the face of growing violence against media figures. I don't think it's cowardice. I just think people don't really think... I don't think people really think that it's as bad as it is. Violence is a fact of life in American politics. It always has been. Just because we are at an ebb in the pattern of the violence since the end of the Cold War doesn't mean that it is impossible or that it will ever go away. This intro felt like someone who thought that American politics was no longer violent, realizing that it is when someone he empathized with was affected. I don't know how I can put this gently, but he needs to realize that politics has been violent for those below him in social situations, status maybe, since the beginning of time, and that no one is immune in a world of statistics. This stuff happens. It happens more now that we are in the throes of a fascist takeover, a fact I thought Ezra acknowledged. You can't lose your cool just because it has the chance to affect you now. You owe it to the people it has always affected, some of whom have been directly threatened by Kirk's escalatory rhetoric, to look at the situation with a level head. This is the thing, too. We're laughing at people being deported, and it's such a weak word even, deported. Like, these people's lives are being destroyed. Can you imagine being picked up from the country you live in, maybe even with your family, and thrown back to a country you've either haven't been in for over a decade or maybe have never lived in before? Like, what is that experience of walking off the plane to start over completely in a whole new place, maybe now separated from your family. And this is happening by what number? Sometimes under the Alien Enemies Act, or sometimes you're just shipped off right to an insane prison in El Salvador that we're paying money for. Like, but they're immigrants. So we don't think about them. They're not like us. We don't think about them as much, which I get, but, or sometimes they're not immigrants. Sometimes they're green card holders. Sometimes they're,
Fox News alert, we just got our hands on a trove of new evidence in the Charlie Kirk murder. Text messages between...
Actually, it's going to take them a while to get to me, so I don't even give a fuck. Let me work my way through links in the meantime. I gotta go through the bullshit first.
It's kind of how, like, everyone in America, not everyone, but a lot of people are like, there's a lot of jokes about this sort of thing. You know, it's like this man just got, like, assassinated on stream, or on TV. And, like, people say I have no empathy. But like, damn guys, you know, it's people are just like roasting it left and right, comments, you know, people like, you know, celebrating this and this. It's like, you know, my man's neck was just all over the place, you know. It's just like, what's going on in America, you know? It's just like everyone's like I feel like, and I see this a lot, and I'm always complaining about hate on me. I feel like everyone's just kind of bloodthirsty these days.
Yeah, they are. I was gonna say, like, I understand the lack of empathy, but I also understand the, hey, have some empathy. Like, I see both sides. Both sides have some validation, because if you firmly disagree with the things he says, which he says some over the top shit that a lot of people will heavily disagree with, you can't expect them to cry over it.
Well, you don't just expect him to cry, but that's for sure.
Right, and then
I didn't agree. I mean, I didn't really know the guy, but I didn't know he was part of like that right wing team. And I personally, like, you know, your boy here did a Kamala Harris campaign, all right? So
I don't.
We all know what's up.
I have a hard time,
but I still won. I still did it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Not me.
I do see.
I thought you were Trump for a second. I was pretending you were him.
I do, and again, if someone, I have not been fed any information for me to believe anything otherwise.
Yeah.
I feel everything on the far right wing is grifting.
What do you mean by that?
Almost every content creator that is doing far right-wing stuff in some way is pandering to, truth be told, closet racists, closet homophobes, closet things like that, and just angry, hateful people. Just mad and just want to be angry and shit on.
Some people are actually that way. They don't necessarily need to be pandering.
Yeah.
Based. I'm going to turn myself in. Good job.
Thing that
it's not really worth talking about out Don Lemon, but I'll say this. Going forward, if any sponsor works with this clown, they will not be working with the Rubin Report. Oh, time for a Russia joke. Hold on.
is so obvious about it, and I think this is so disgusting, is that you don't really care. You don't really care about Charlie Kirk. What you care is that this is a moment that you can use for clicks, to boost your podcast or your streaming show or your radio show or your television show or your news show or your MAGA bona fides with the MAGA group or your political stripes, that you can improve it, or you can have a moment where you're crying in front of the cameras. You gather all the reporters at the Capitol and you go, and it's your fault, and it's your fault, and it's the left and whatever. And the thing that is so
true. Like, what, again, this is what I'm saying, like, in terms of like being afraid. Why would your immediate go-to not be like, holy shit, we need to chill, guys. We need to, everybody needs to calm the fuck down. Maybe we all need to bring it down a little bit. This fucking loser. He's actually playing this as an own moment.
It's a lot more than 20.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and this disgusting. Oh, God. Okay. Oh wait, this whole thing already got uploaded to Twitter.
On yeah,
just
this
on the hey, this touch
Fear
blooded murderer obstructing justice. ABC wasn't this touched when Charlie's widow wept in front of the nation.
Oh
and the
my
far left is acting
God.
like Charlie had it coming.
If you wanted Charlie Kirk to be alive, Donald Trump should have been president for the second term.
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed when they go to events so that they look to their leadership to turn down the temperature. The issue is right now, they don't feel like there's any fear.
This was vengeance for the election of Trump 2. Absolutely correct. Good framing, Jesse.
That guy's name's Destiny, and he just learned his fate. He's fired and banned from making any more money on his site.
No!
You need conservatives to be afraid of getting killed?
Not his site!
When you go to events? CNN is defending this guy.
CNN?
We can't punish people for disagreeing with us. We can't punish people for being jerks and celebrating the death of someone. That's not illegal, and that shouldn't be who we are.
She's right. It's not illegal to say Charlie deserved to die, and you're glad he did. They have a right to say that, but we have a right to fire you.
Really? They have a right to fire you? I thought that, remember. Wait. Hold on. I'm trying to remember. Was this not the exact same argument made about working for the federal government when the federal government was going to mandate COVID vaxes? And they were like, you're destroying their civil rights. And people were like, well, I mean, theoretically, you could just work for someone else, right? You don't have to work for the government. No! That doesn't matter.
You can't walk into the office and say you're into homicide.
And these guys aren't even trying to get people fired from like government jobs. These people are trying to get people fired from every job.
Fire you. You can't walk into the office and say you're into homicide. You can't work at CNN and tweet, I'm comfortable with cold-blooded murder. More people need to be killed. Speech is free, but you're not free from the consequences. If you're glad Charlie's dead and thought he had it coming, I'm supposed to sit next to you in the break room? You're going to teach my kid at school or serve in government? And I'm supposed to just say, free speech. You're advertising that you're a maniac and that you have no decency, compassion, or humanity, that you're indifferent to death. And not just indifferent, you're sickly gleeful. That makes you a threat. That makes you dangerous. It makes you a beast. And what do we do with beasts? We leave them out in the wild. We have to be very careful about the kind of people we associate with. They aren't entitled to work for us. And these people, sadly, are everywhere.
Charlie Kirk committed suicide is what he did. He knew it was coming. Charlie Kirk did a great thing for humanity. He stopped that bullet.
Who is this guy? Wayne's Word Pod. What is this, one of the top 10 podcasts in the United States? Who's this dude?
Boy, hit a human being.
That bullet connected with Trump. How would you have felt if it had connected with more?
Oh, wait. This is probably the guy doing the interview, huh? This is even a more random dude, huh?
I wish that shooter would have been in Butner, Pennsylvania, instead of getting Charlie Kirk.
This is more than just a disagreement over the border or crime or politics. We're talking about murder. Would CNN be okay if they're...
Listen to him, right? This is more than just a disagreement over the border or politics. Just politics. Nothing is serious to these people when it's on their side, when they're committing the violence, when they're the ones in charge of it. Nothing is serious over there.
Producer said, that girl that got raped, she had it coming. Of course not. Said, that girl that got raped, or a disagreement over the border or crime or politics. We're talking about murder. Would CNN be okay if their producer said, that girl that got raped, she had it coming?
I wonder if Jesse Waters had anything to say about the guy who got stabbed on the street. Fuck, in New York. I wish I could remember the guy's name. But he got stabbed, and I remember Tim Pool made fun of him and said, this is what you liberals voted for. You liberals voted for black people shanking you in the street.
Of course not. Or the Ukrainian refugee stabbed to death on a train, Irina, deserved to die. Those floods in Texas, that's karma. Hope you can swim. Never. And we're not saying these people should be put in prison. We're saying they're not walking into my office. I'm not letting them hang around my family. I don't want to be anywhere near them. This college student in Texas barged into a Charlie Kirk vigil and acted out the bullying ripping through his throat.
Not the random college kid. Oh no, not that. Not this one.
Texas State University just expelled that clown. It's a state school, and taxpayers should never have to fund that ghoul's education. He's a sociopath. And if he didn't learn his lesson today, in a few years, I guarantee he'll be preying on some innocent victim or
Jesus Christ. Really? That's what it takes, is you're making some stupid jokes as a college kid, and now you're going to be murdering people in a year or two? Okay, Chief.
Victims. So we're not advocating jail time. We're recommending social purgatory until he repents and means it.
Oh.
Society's already treating the cancer. A councilman in Florida got caught celebrating Charlie's death, and now he's facing the will of the people.
Your days are numbered. You're rolling your eyes. It's disgraceful, man. You have brought a horrible name to this community.
I have a recall petition. If you're really going to make the whole village go through this, it's going to be done. We have 30-40%.
Oh, it was this. This guy, I think a crazy dude, basically, if I remember correctly, a crazy guy walked up to him and stabbed him to death in New York City. I think it was New York City, right? Ryan Carson hit Brian Dowling first. It's on video. He's trying to claim that the other dude started the fight. Dowling screamed because two people came up on him from behind and he feared for his safety. The two people were, I think, were just the guy and his girlfriend, right? Carson hits Dowling a total of 3 times before Dowling decided to defend himself from the white supremacist Carson. Tim is trolling in this. I think he's memeing. No shit, Sherlock. He's... Oh, sorry, hold on. I got baited. Good one. An entire article about the right celebrating how a young activist murder has been gleefully distorted online. Because Ryan Carson was a liberal activist, social media trolls blamed his own politics for his death. Do you have links to tweets or anything? I'm too lazy to read this whole article right now.
Of this village.
The fuck is this? Israel assassinated Charlie Kirk and now the Jews have literally overtaken his show. What is this? Okay, don't know, don't care. Wait, link me the picture of this, of Jank going on to do this fucking podcast with the worst people on the internet.
I don't even know what the fuck
This is the end for Destiny. Hassan video. Okay, don't care. Stop! Oh, what was this? Based. What is this?
Of Charlie Kirk, and they got into a debate here because a lot of the people in the streaming world, they're a lot of them are very right wing, or at the very least, somewhat right wing, and they end up running cover for the right, even though they might nominally be more apolitical. But generally speaking, many of them lean right. They got into this debate here about, you know, the reaction of the left and the right to the shooting of Charlie Kirk.
64 months
and
still hate my life.
This is a fucking...
Yo, Guy Fieri fell off, let's be honest, chat. Guys, it's just not the same anymore. I used to love his show. I used to love his cooking. I don't know. He's not cooking anymore.
Clip because
what happened to this guy?
XQC gets absolutely bodied. Where he's trying to say, oh my god, the left, they're totally unhinged and they're so violent and this is unacceptable. And then...
Wait. I didn't even listen to what he said, I'm sorry. The consistent reply I've gotten on Charlie Kirk is his quote about black women and their intelligence as it relates to affirmative action. It's from his podcast. Here's the exact quote. Link in reply tweet. You can decide if you think it's spicy, racist, based, or rude. Quote, if we would have said 3 weeks ago that Joy Reid Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Oh, shit. Oh, I guess that was a fucking lie then, when they said... he was actually defending them against affirmative action. Assuming the quote is real. Does anybody have a link to the program, I guess? It's a bit worse if you hear it. Link in reply. Is that it? This thing?
Happens when the world doesn't even need convincing. Josh Kruger, a progressive journalist from Philly, made a living mocking conservatives worried about crime and defended Soros-funded DAs. Now, after downplaying the violence, Josh Kruger was just a victim of it.
The 39-year-old was shot and killed overnight inside his Point Breeze home after a person came in and started shooting. Police say they responded to the 2300 block of Watkins Street around 1:30 a.m. to reports of gunshots and screams. When they arrived, they found Kruger shot multiple times and collapsed in the street. Detectives believe someone came in, shot him at the bottom of his stairs, and Kruger ran outside looking for help.
Jesus. Another liberal activist, Ryan Carson, was just stabbed to death in front of his girlfriend here in Brooklyn. Viewer warning. A Minnesota progressive who agitated to dismantle the police was viciously assaulted in her driveway last month. In D.C., Democrat Angie Craig was attacked in an elevator in her own apartment complex. She only escaped after throwing scalding hot coffee in her assailant's face. The bloodshed's bipartisan. A Rand Paul staffer was stabbed walking through the...
This was the...
3 weeks ago, Blake, if we would have said that Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52.
Cut 52.
But I rise today as a clear recipient of affirmative action, particularly in higher education. I may have been admitted on affirmative action, both in terms of being a woman and a woman of color, but I can declare that I did not graduate on affirmative action. This is my personal story.
I hear because of action affirmative. She can't even say that.
We're going to make fun of misspeak. Mr. Donald Trump supporter, this guy who couldn't even be diagnosed as a stroke victim based on how fucking retarded he sounds when his brain is functioning.
We know. It's very obvious to us that you were not smart enough to be able to get in on your own. I couldn't make it on my own, so I needed to take opportunities from someone more deserving. You know, this is how arrogant Joy Reid and Ketanji Brown Jackson and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee are. They're so narcissistic, they think this is persuasive. They think we're like, oh, of course. That's why we need affirmative action, because you have impressed us with your brilliance. Of course.
Wait, who was... I remember watching this yesterday or reading it. Maybe it was this morning. Maybe it was off stream. How person after person kept saying, Charlie Kirk is actually... Wait, no, I saw this. It blew up all over Twitter. People were saying journalists were taking him out of context. He actually was defending their intelligence against affirmative action claims or whatever. Did we watch it on stream? I feel like I saw so many people on Twitter making that claim, but whatever.
Yo, Guy Fieri fell off. Let's be honest, chat. Guys, it's just not the same anymore. I used to love his show. I used to love his cooking. I know. He's not cooking anymore.
Clip because
what happened to this guy?
XQC gets absolutely bodied.
Oh,
where he's trying to say, oh my God, the left they're totally unhinged and they're so violent and this is unacceptable. And then Destiny comes in.
What? This guy's paraphrasing. I never said that.
In like a buzzsaw and lays out literally the exact opposite of what you're saying is the truth.
Oh, did Vance spread this lie? Wait, maybe Vance was the one who said
the
it.
writer accuses Charlie of saying, and I quote, "Black women do not have brain processing power to be taken seriously." But if you go and watch the clip, the very clip she links to, you realize he never said anything like that. He never uttered those words.
This is like when Tulsi Gabbard releases shit that contradicts what she says. They just rely on you never reading it or watching it. That's like a thing you say, right? It's like when Hassan does it, right? Oh, that's out of context, guys. That's out of context. Because they rely on you never going to look for the context.
If we would have said that Joy Reid...
Oh, 131,000 likes. Good job. Ghoulish behavior, disgusting, gross and disgusting behavior, absolutely disgusting behavior. Did you know if you treat conservatives the same way they treat minorities, they get very upset? True. Sorry, hold on. Just going through the other links I had open. So the terms of the TikTok deal are: the CCP gets to continue programming the app with no oversight. Trump allies get to capture the financial upside. Beijing has said the U.S. spinoff. What is this? This is Financial Times, I think, right? Beijing has said the U.S. spinoff of TikTok to be sold to American investors is a deal orchestrated by President Donald Trump. Will use parent company ByteDance's Chinese algorithm. Wang Jintao, deputy head of China's powerful cybersecurity regulators, told reporters on Monday night that U.S. and Chinese officials had agreed to a framework that included licensing the algorithm and other intellectual property rights. So, like, the whole point of this deal is the whole issue, without diving back into the whole issue relating to how this worked, there was a legitimately weird argument that, there was a legitimately strange legal argument that I thought had some merit, that TikTok can come and be a U.S. company and enjoy all of the rights and protections guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution of a company in terms of their freedom from government intrusion, oversight, and everything else, okay? They have all the free rights that a company enjoys in the U.S., but all the potentially bad stuff that they do happens with their parent company over in Beijing, right? So ByteDance is not subject really to civil liabilities and definitely not to criminal liabilities of things that they might do bad. So TikTok gets to enjoy the strong defense of all of the American constitutional guarantees, and ByteDance is out of reach of jurisdiction of any U.S. criminal or civil court. So it's like this like 1-2 that they can play is like very not good, very annoying. And I'm sympathetic, actually. The court made a very narrow ruling on that, but I was sympathetic to the way that this works not being good for the United States. But apparently we've found a way to answer that question without actually answering the question at all. We're just enriching some of Trump's crony fucking loser friends. What? Is this actually true? Trevor donated $1.8 million to Trump, then hired Attorney General Pam Bondi's brother to represent him. Case dropped. Are both those statements true? The SEC has dropped their case against me with prejudice, meaning it can't be brought up again. 5 years of outright lies by the media, corrupt prosecutors, former Nikola executives, and short sellers is finally over. They falsely indicted me, silenced me, deleted my followers, including here on X, stole my company, bankrupted my company, debanked me, targeted my friends and family, stole most of my wealth, tried to put me in prison, but it's now over. It's so fucking corrupt. It is true. I remember this. This was the guy with the fake trucks. The scam EV. Is that true? I don't remember this guy at all. Wait, but did he really hire Pam Bondi's brother? Did he really donate $1.8 million to Trump? Well, it would have had to been through like a PAC or something, or a super PAC or something, right? He rolled a truck down a hill for oh, I remember. They're down the hill. Oh, shit. They had to show, they sold pre-orders on a truck. And they got people to pre-order it. But the truck, I don't think it worked, right? Oh, Jesus, hour and 47 minutes. We didn't watch this whole thing, did we? But one of the memes was
There's a fully functioning vehicle.
But it's like downhill. It's just rolling.
It's not just a pusher.
It literally, well, or a gravitational puller, maybe.
Not just a pusher.
It was like that, what's the name of that woman? Except for trucks. The woman who tried to be like Steve Jobs and made the medical testing machine. What was her name? Was it Elizabeth Holmes? Yeah. On September 10, 2020, 2 days after Nikola established ties with General Motors, short seller Hindenburg Research released a report accusing Milton of making false statements and calling Nikola an intricate fraud. Following the report, Nikola's stock price fell, and the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission and Department of Justice launched investigations into securities fraud allegations involving Milton. So people that run companies hate short sellers, okay? And a lot of people, like on YouTube or whatever, speak poorly of short sellers or whatever bullshit because you know, it's just whatever. But the reality is that to some extent, short sellers perform a relatively important market function, okay? You're supposed to be able to gauge, roughly speaking, like the general health of a company looking at its stock price. Well, it's very easy for people to buy stock and to hold it, or for people to buy more stock in a company for the price to go up as a result. Driving the cost of a security down is a little bit more difficult. I don't remember why. There's a reason given for that. I don't remember exactly why. But like stocks could be high and maybe they shouldn't be high. But there's not much incentive to like research on not investing in a company. Maybe you just like wouldn't buy the company at all. Like if you think that a company's stock is going to go up, well then you buy the stock. If you think the company's stock should be lower, well, what are you going to do? You just don't buy it, I guess, right? That's it. So short sellers, theoretically, now they could be bad, but short sellers perform an important function in the market where they can help with the discovery of bad issues because they're looking for securities that they believe are overvalued, right? And that can help to important discovery of fraudulent behavior or whatever else. Michael Burry is one of the more well-known short sellers because of his very flattering presentation in The Big Short, but he was the guy who discovered a lot of what he thought was poor pricing of, I guess, mortgage-backed security things in during the whole housing crisis, right? But yeah, okay. Anyway, so I guess the short seller is maybe the one who discovered this meme, and then the SEC and the DOJ followed up. On September 20th, 2020, Milton resigned from his position as executive chairman of Nikola Corporation. As part of his exit, he remained an unpaid consultant to Nikola until December 2020 and was restricted from publicly commenting on Nikola without prior approval. He retained 91.6 million shares, valued at approximately $3.1 billion. September 2020, allegations of sexual misconduct against him were reported. These claims spanning incidents from 1999 to 2004. No one cares. Okay, in July 2021, a U.S. grand jury returned an indictment against Milton that included 3 counts of securities fraud and wire fraud. Then he faced civil securities fraud charges from the SEC. He pleaded not guilty. In June 2022, Milton was charged with an additional wire fraud charge. In October 2022, he was found guilty on 1 count of securities fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud and sentenced to 4 years in prison, $168 million in restitution, and a $1 million fine. It was expected Milton would, after credits earned through the First Step Act and other Bureau of Prisons programming, serve only approximately 1 year in federal prison. In his court case, Milton was represented by 2 lawyers with close connections to Donald Trump, Mark Mukasey, and Brad Bondi, the brother of Pam Bondi. A month prior to the 2024 presidential election, Milton and his wife donated more than $1.8 million to a super PAC, I'm guessing, a fund supporting Donald Trump's re-election. On March 27th, 2025, he was given a full pardon by President Donald Trump. Does he get back his restitution or fine? As a result of the pardon, Milton will not need to compensate Nikola shareholders who had lost tens of millions of dollars. Absolutely based. Draining the swamp. Holy shit. Jesus Christ. When a Kirk fan argues that it's out of context, and to quote the whole thing, Nazi shit. Nazi shit. True. True. Oh, I saw this, but I didn't go over this. The memes that it might not be real. I see the FBI has taken to writing fan fiction. Young gay men talk to one another like this. Half of it is in cop speak. Interrogated, squad car, retrieve it, swept that spot. And why does he address multiple loose ends in a convo with a significant other, unprompted, after expressing that he didn't want him involved? You're not good at this. I don't want to... Fuck, don't do this to me. The issue right now is that you can't believe this administration. But with the FBI, to fabricate something like this, you would need so many people involved, right? The people who get... It would be whoever subpoenas... Well, you wouldn't have to subpoena, I guess. You would just get the phone. But it would be... There's going to be a chain of custody. There's going to be multiple people involved in the phone. The people doing the interviews, the people doing the forensic analysis. Like this, I don't even know if it had a serial number. Would you really not know? Maybe he wouldn't know, though. Why would he know? Why would he say that, though? Maybe. He could be using military or cop speak because he watches too many cop things, though. Don't put me down this. I don't want to go down this road. Don't put me down this road. Oh, we saw this earlier.
Within 24 hours of Mr. Kirk's shooting, we had the guy that does the podcast for the War Room and another guy who's denied the Sandy Hook shootings say we're at war. Now, how on earth, and I do believe it's a smaller number, but it's a number that has an influence. How on earth are we de-escalating the situation? And with the tensions as high as they were last week, with going out and saying we're at war. I'm not asking you to respond to this question. I'm just saying that there are people out here on our side of the aisle that still need to look in the mirror. Even if you agree that it's a lower number, bad is bad no matter how many numbers they are. And that kind of rhetoric and that kind of mobilization makes your job more difficult and puts us in a position where we're not being as productive as you want the FBI and state and local law enforcement to be.
He retires from politics? He's so brave once he... Yeah. Fuck, never mind. The text messages are real 100%.
Yeah, these messages are clearly doctored, is what I would say. They're doctored. Now, they could decide why they're doing that. Tyler's being forthcoming. We're protecting him in some capacity. I find that to be unacceptable. Okay? Unacceptable. I want every single text message. I want timestamps. It is conspicuous that you are not telling us when this was sent, because it sounds like it's when the campus is on lockdown and he's got to go back and he's got to clean up, and then all of a sudden we're in the next day when his dad is getting clued in after the picture's been released. They're not telling us that, okay? And you have a right to be a little bit uncomfortable about that, because I'm a lot of bit uncomfortable about that. We need.
Matt Walsh is also on this train. Scripted, not doctored, because they're not trans enough. Honestly, I think it's much more likely that they aren't being forthcoming with the messages that indicate his political leanings. It is weird that they selectively published some. They have fucked up the public presentation of this so much. Like, they don't need to release any more info. We caught the dude. So now put your criminal case together. And then if you want to do a separate presentation to the public at some point, then do it. I don't remember us. Did we get this much information about any other of the like big political assassination killer people? Or did it all, or was it all just like stuff leaked to the media? Was our FBI heads ever publishing stuff about, I don't know if the FBI, oh, well, there was one investigation the FBI spoke a lot about. Hillary's motherfucking emails. Yeah, the FBI talking about this before trial seems really dumb, but...
Watch this.
You think it's a problem, but it's not. Every large media outlet and lawmaker on the left has unequivocally called it out as bad. Every person on the right is calling for war and vengeance.
Oh my... okay, see, that's a Utopia pill. I feel like this is like...
What's a Utopia pill? What's a Utopia pill? What do you mean by that?
It's the leftist dumb fuck colored glasses.
Dumb fuck colored glasses?
True. True.
Bitch, what? Dumb fuck's not color, dog.
Interesting. Okay. Let me finish my thought. I mean, you try to understand it, but this guy's like a boomer, so I wouldn't expect too much of this guy.
Hate of getting killed.
Okay.
He's my.
Hassan calls out Ethan Klein for his reaction to Charlie Kirk compared to Aaron Bushnell. Oh my god, bro.
Bringing this up is because I keep hearing from fucking dumb fucks on my TikTok For You page about
Say chirping, bro.
Oh, you think Charlie Kirk's opinion on the gays was bad? Well, why don't you ask a Palestinian? And it's like, dude, let's take a look at this clip.
Funny, I used to say that, hey, if you as a gay person would go to Gaza, they'd throw you off of tall buildings, right? Now they don't have any tall buildings left, so I don't...
Damn, dude. Fucking sick.
When you mess with...
Maybe that's why Ethan cried. Oh, shit. You know, there were so many similarities between Charlie Kirk's rhetoric on...
Wait, did Ethan Klein... Wait, did we watch him? I forget. Did he cry? Oh, he might have been emotional over the Charlie Kirk stuff, I think.
Gaza and Israel. And Ethan's rhetoric on Gaza and Israel. Oh, yeah, he did. He did cry. He cried. It's just interesting because he's, you know... When you compare his reaction to Charlie Kirk dying and his tears, very different than the way he reacted to Aaron Bushnell, who gave his life.
He killed himself by setting himself on fire outside of a building like a fucking lunatic.
When Aaron Bushnell killed himself in protest to Israel's genocide, he made fun of him. Just odd.
Where is the rifle when he jumped off the roof? How did it get into the woods? I feel like it's, well, the screwdriver. He must have disassembled it somehow. I also heard somebody say 30-06 is not what Mausers are normally chambered in. I don't know anything about Mausers. I don't even know what 30-06 caliber looks like. I've never fired a rifle like that before. Somebody did point out it's weird. Why would he write something on the bullets if he was planning on leaving the rifle? Why would he say he left the rifle in the woods wrapped in a towel? But you can go back and retrospectively think anything, retrospectively think anything looks weird. But stop, don't put me down this road. Fuck, dude. Our things have been so corrupted that like anything is possible. Fuck, stop. Why don't they show actual Discord logs instead? I don't know. We're just getting like these little drip feeds of things. My guess is that the Discord logs or the text messages show that the guy was either not radicalized at all by anything left-leaning, which so far seems to be the case because his roommate seemed really surprised, didn't seem very supportive at all of this, and nothing in Discord seemed supportive of him doing this. I'm still not sure. Wait, do we know for sure that the roommate is trans, or is the roommate just a guy? Do we know any of this for sure? So either there's nothing there, or it's something that's incriminating, being radicalized on the right. But we don't know. We just don't have enough information to say, unfortunately. God, the most awkward thing is going to be if the reason why they called it trans, it is because some FBI guy stumbled across the roommate's like Twitter account, and they're like a femboy, and they're like, oh shit, it must be male to female, I guess. And it's like, it's more complicated than that, sir. Rage bait clip.
I watched it live.
You were rightly critical, not here actually, I guess it was on Cash's Corner. You were rightly critical of the way that the previous FBI director used the FBI jet. And you said you wanted to ground Chris Wray's private jet travel that he pays for with taxpayer dollars to hop around the country. Let me ask you this. You know, on the weekend of, according to flight tracker data, on the weekend of March 7th, an FBI plane flew round trip from D.C. to Las Vegas, and you attended a UFC fight with Mel Gibson, and I'll show you that. Is that you, and is that true?
Yeah, you want to know the difference? I live in Las Vegas. I'm allowed to go home. I didn't leave a congressional hearing early on an FBI jet to dodge questions.
All right, then on April 5th, you attended a hockey game in New York City. You know?
Yo, Congress needs to close its doors. Congress is a waste of money. Save the, yo, this guy says, oh, did you fly a jet using tax money? But the existence of this shit is tax money.
Okay, I'm good. I don't need to listen to XQZ's, or I mean Asmongold's politics takes on XQZ's channel.
As someone who disagrees with him, obviously I disagree with him on everything, although we didn't see eye to eye. Oh. As someone with a differing opinion, almost everything.
Oh no! Oh, don't say that! Stop! Oh shit, I don't want to think about that. Wait a second. Wait a second. No, I don't want to think about that. Wait. Wait, where's the media picture of the rifle in the towel? First of all, can you take this apart with a screwdriver? Somebody in chat, somebody in YouTube chat just said, where is he? Destiny. So he took the rifle apart and then he put it back together in the woods? Wait, why would he do that? Wait, why would he do that? Did they find it in two pieces? Can somebody tell me they found the rifle? They said the rifle was in two pieces, right? Because they said they found the screwdriver on the roof, right? It was never taken apart. Wait, what was the screwdriver for then? That was a rumor, I think. Bro, the guy ran immediately. It's not in the footage. He had zero time to disassemble the rifle and put it back together. It makes no sense to take the whole ass gun and leave the tools. The scope, maybe? Destiny, also, why did he limp all the way there if he could take it apart? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Watch the jump off the roof clip again. Destiny, why did he leave it in the woods if he took it apart? Well, because he doesn't want to take the murder weapon with him? Wait a second. Where are my gun people at? Why would he unscrew? The zeroing on the scope is going to be fairly important. Would you risk, you would have to pre-zero this rifle to, if you zeroed this to 100 yards and shot, well no, because you have your mil dot, but would you unscrew the scope and then screw it back on and then hope that on one shot you could reliably fire? Yeah, there's no way you're ever removing the scope. That's not possible. That would have never been the case. I don't know what you can remove on this rifle, though, with a screwdriver. I don't know what would come off. But I don't know anything about Mausers at all. I truly don't. I have no fucking idea. Oh no, please, I don't want to go down this road, guys.
All right, guys, I want to make this real quick because, I mean, to the point, something isn't right. I went to a vigil last night and spoke down in Provo about Charlie Kirk and all the things that he's contributed to our society. And Charlie Kirk, we get false flags since it started pinging. Apparently, the rifle is a 30-06 hunting rifle. It's a long action. 30-06 is a 30 cal. It's basically a 308, the old version of the 308. The modern 7.62x51 NATO version that came around in the 1950s was able to be fired in a short and long action. The rifle I saw appeared to be a long action, Mauser variant, 30-06, and they're not interchangeable. 30 cal-06, I believe that's the origin. 1906 is when it was brought around. The 30-06 has more muzzle velocity in feet per second and more foot-pounds of energy. When I saw that rifle, one thing stood out to me is it was together. And another element that stood out to me is when he came off the rooftop in the video I saw, he didn't appear to have a rifle. He appeared to have a bag.
Like, I know we kind of memed a little bit, but they said he was in, oh no, they said he was in jeans. How did he, did in jeans he stuffed? Am I the only guy on the planet that fucking hates wearing jeans? There's a reason I wear sweatpants. I hate jeans. Is there like some magical jeans store where they're just super comfortable and flexible? I bought fake jeans before, but like this guy jumped off the roof with the gun hidden in his jeans? Don't do this, guys. Stop. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go down this road. Wait. So he's running, right? How, like, what is, has anybody measured like the maximal like bend of his leg here as he runs? So like the left one, it looks like is bending. Wait, like right there, was that the left and the right bending? Wait, where's the rifle? Wait, hold on. He's carrying it. Watch when he goes off the roof. Because I'm going to see the rifle when he goes off the roof clearly, and it's all going to make sense? Is that what you're saying? Hold on. Okay. If he has like a bag, that bag couldn't have had the rifle in it though, right? That bag? Could it have? It's hard to see with the pickles. Okay, maybe he drops down here. Okay, it's definitely not in his pocket or anything. It looks like he's... So is the assumption that he took the rifle apart and he's got it in the bag here? Why would he put it together again before putting it in the woods?
And I guess allegedly, apparently, he broke it down, came off the roof, put it back together, and then chucked it in the woods with his palm print on it. Now, I speculated this guy wasn't likely a professional, didn't have a sniper background, but he had some form of training, some form of experience. I still believe he did. But at 22 years old, 4.0 GPA, 26 out of 28 ACT, full ride scholarship.
Does the ACT only go to 28 now instead of 36?
How does he get radicalized to the point where he conducts one of the most successful assassinations in American history? A lot of people try. The guy in Mar-a-Lago who got set up, compromised. The guy in Butler, PA, scales a 10 building, gets off a couple rounds, gets schwacked. But this kid infiltrates, has successful actions on exfils off the rooftop, and then he decides to put the gun together and chuck it in the woods?
Wait. Why did he chuck the gun? Why wouldn't he just take it with him? If he's hiding it as he's taking it, wouldn't it make sense to take it with? He lives 4 hours away. Is he going to drive 4 hours back to? The kid's not talking at all to investigators. Why? We have no Discord evidence or anything of him being crazy rat. No, this is memes. We're just going to wait for more info. We're just got to wait for more info. He might have thought they'd search people leaving the area? Leaving in his truck as he gets on the interstate?
I am a former 18 Bravo. I have field stripped every single weapon system known to man, foreign and domestic. It was part of my job as a weapons specialist SF guy, which I loved. I had already studied all the nomenclature.
Also, I think field stripping is usually toolless strip, right? Or light toolless strip. Like you're not like disassembling the fucking trigger mechanisms and all the internal like pieces, but it's like maybe with a simple screwdriver or just with your hands, like how much, so like the slide will come off, the barrel can come out, springs and shit, like basic stuff, but not like a full tear down of the gun. Has there ever been a shooting in all of US history ever where the guy field stripped the firearm afterwards? Has that ever happened ever? Oh shit, my brain's gonna get fucked on this. Destiny, if he took it apart while he fled, why not dispose of the pieces in various places on the way home? I just don't understand why would he put it back together and put it in the forest? Why would he do that? Why would he do that? Wait, no, wait, somebody just asked a question. Wait. Give me the indictment. Wait, where's the indictment? Wait, I thought the screwdriver was in here. Did they not put the screwdriver in the indictment? Am I crazy? No. Oh, okay, wait. Never mind. I thought somebody said that they found the screwdriver on the roof. Because if they found the screwdriver on the roof, how did he put it back together in the forest? That's what the FBI said? What? Search assemble, disassemble. No. The two screwdriver theory.
When the news first broke.
Here's a guy explaining how he could have done it.
As a young man, all the Jane's manuals I had, I picked up every copy of Guns and Ammo I could. You would have to clear the rifle.
Wait, they didn't find the rifle cleared. Wait, you can't clear the rifle. No, wait, hold on. Okay, bolt action, internal magazine for every single one that I've dealt with. Every time you pull the bolt back, you are ejecting a cartridge. When you push it forward, another one would come in. Would you be able to disassemble the rifle without emptying the internal magazine? Does anybody know? Does that mean that you would have to disassemble, or could you maybe you could leave a spent casing inside? Usually you have to. Don't you usually have to like pull back the bolt and then secure it? I don't even know. Actually, I'm making sure. I've never disassembled a bolt action rifle before. Usually with guns, you have to like either activate the trigger or activate the action, and then you would pull back stuff, and then you can pop stuff off. I have no idea for this rifle though. I don't know. This guy's saying it though.
you would have to clear the rifle.
You can take the stock off? Is that what we think he just took off? He just removed the stock? They said that there was a screwdriver on the roof. With a screwdriver recovered from the rooftop. Well, how did he put it back together? Wait, how did he put it back together? Also, where did they find the spent casing? Did he never even cycled the action once? Wait, did he ever even take apart? Why are you autism sniped on the disassemble theory? It's unfounded. True, wait. We don't even know if he disassembled it. Wait. Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, why do we even think he disassembled it? We know he used the screwdriver. What if he brought it to open a gate or something? How does he get the gun off the roof? Well, how does it... Wait, hold on. It could just... Why is this guy saying it's in his pants? Hold on. Hold on. That's the bag. That's the bag. The rifle has to be in this bag? Maybe it's just odd angles? Does the rifle... That doesn't look that long. Mauser's going to be probably longer than AR-15, right? I would imagine. My Mosin is way longer than my AR-15. Like, I feel like it'd be closer to the... I have a Browning trap shotgun. I feel like it'd be closer in length to that. Watch the bag fold. It folds when it hits the ground. You see the gun go over the ledge. You can see the gun clearly. Wait, where? Like... That? Wait. Where? Hold on. That's the towel. Wait, maybe it goes over the edge and I just see it. It's in the white part. Right before he hangs off. Okay, hold on, okay. Did he already throw it at this point? Yes. Is he throwing it over the other side? Or is he throwing it... Okay, right. Where is he dropping it? Why does it, like, disappear? Or is that him dropping it? A Mauser 98 is 49 inches. The person who said yes was wrong. It was a shadow. We're retarded.
Drop a foreplate. Oh, actually, remove the bolt first. Drop a foreplate. Take off a barrel band.
Each round in the rifle contained an etched inscription as follows. OWO. What's this? But in the text messages, he says, ooh, UWU. If I see notices bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Why does the punctuation, like, what is he texting with that I'm types I am? Like, on every phone, wouldn't this autocorrect? I am space? And sometimes it's proper and sometimes it's not. I'm assuming he's texting here, right? Why doesn't the IM autocorrect to I apostrophe M? Zoomers turn that off? So you're telling me he's intentionally typing the full word here? He's in... Oh, no, wait. That's probably... Oh, no, that's him. Yeah. That's just PC? Wait, what? Maybe this is just an FBI typo? Do you think the FBI... Why would the FBI even know to typo? He did the ooh face, and the guy's like, oh, I make the ooh face, OWO. Instead of UWU. Oh, no. Stop. This is all bullshit. We're going to know in a few days or weeks.
Handguard and disconnect the barrel from the stock. And even when you did that, you would have about that much stock or that much difference in the breakdown. So full-size rifle, the barrel kind of meets the buttstock here.
The screwdriver might have been to sight the scope. I don't believe that you would be messing with the actual adjustments on the scope before you take a shot like that, because you would have no idea where the bullet's going to land. The scope needed to be pre-zeroed before taking any shots. You would never mess with it afterwards, especially with a bolt action, because you got probably one shot.
Well, when you do that, you're just saving this much space. So you want me to believe he took a shot, broke down the rifle, came off the roof, reassembled it, and then chucked it in the woods in a towel? Nah, I don't believe that. I saw the video. After the shot was taken, he was running and exfilling. So if he ran and he came off that rooftop, when he came off that rooftop, it appeared that he only had a black bag. What makes sense is the black bag was utilized as a shooting stock, a platform, a position. Because if he's flat on his belly, because he didn't have a bipod, no way to gain elevation, he would have to use the bag to gain elevation, to take up a position, because it was from a slightly elevated angle. Oh, and the guy's saying it was an angled shot and there would have been deviation. There is literally nominal, meaning it's not even worth talking about or considering.
Not at that range, yeah.
Deviation in those type of angles. I've been to high angle shooting sniper course. High angle is a building shooting down onto a parking lot.
That's a way different shot, yeah.
That is an angle. This is a slope, and it's no different. What likely happened is he was masked by the pop-up tent from his position, or he didn't remember his hold. So he held the reticle at a 0 point of aim, expecting a point of impact, and at 200 yards, if his 0 is at 100, at 200 yards, he would have had a 4-inch drop and dropped it into the neck. And for all these guys with the ballistic...
If that's true, well, oh, fuck. Because I was going to say, if that's true, that means he was aiming. Duh, he was dead on that shot. But I've never shot from a prone position before. Maybe shooting prone, it might be incredibly easy. It might be significantly easier, especially if that kid had, he said it was a $3,000 scope. It wasn't an 8X, right? It was something else, 3.3 to 4 or something. I don't remember. It was said somewhere, but my guess is prone probably is way more stable, so.
Stick steel plate. Like, this one guy did a video where, like, shoots a steel plate. Guy, we don't use steel plates. Charlie Kirk was not wearing a steel plate. Also, you have to remember, a steel plate, even if it's worn, is underneath the clothing. The spall of the round as it disintegrates, potentially on steel, would be captured by that, and you would see it. He didn't have a plate on. There's one person who said, oh, he's got a black mark above his chest. What is that? It's a microphone. If you would just rewound the video or looked at the pictures where you could see a microphone and also his nipples, which is indicative of him not having armor on. Soft.
You can't convince me he wasn't aiming for the neck when the sentence after, ooh, notices bulge, is the copy paste, and the copy paste literally nuzzles your neck. There's no shot that there's no way that a kid at 150 yards is aiming for a person's neck. We're not playing fucking Halo, killing, they're not elites. Oh God, what were the guys with the big green plasma rifles? There's no. That's just insane. Okay.
Or a steel plate. Now, even if he had a ballistic plate, a Kevlar plate, Kevlar acts like a catcher's mitt for a round. It absorbs the energy. So even if the round hit him on the plate, it would not ricochet. It would potentially spall and fragment. Worst case, with the muzzle velocity of that round, it would create a lot of energy and force that probably would knock him out of his chair with a plate. But
yeah, the idea that, yeah, that's ridiculous, right?
Because that wound that you saw wasn't a ricochet, wasn't an exit wound. It was a penetration lined up with the angle of where the shooter was, of the round entering his neck, penetrating his spinal cord, and him dying nearly instantly. Now, you saw him clench and bleed. He was gone, guys. And I hate to be that graphic, but I want you to understand that, like, he didn't suffer at all. So once we set those aside, I'm like, okay, I understand. Let's move forward. And then I'm like, why is the FBI bragging about rolling this guy up when the family surrendered him? The dad was a construction worker, worked for a construction company.
Well, okay, I've heard the dad was a pastor, a construction worker, the cop sheriff. What was his dad? Now, this video might be a couple days old, 3 days old. What the fuck was the actual dad? What was the roommate? I don't know who anybody was in this story. What is happening?
He wasn't a 27-year law enforcement. That was the family friend.
Oh.
So there were engravings on the bullets that were...
Wait, the pastor was a neighbor, and the law enforcement person was a family friend.
The family friend. So there were engravings on the bullets that were Antifa rhetoric. And you're telling me he operated in a silo, communicating to no one, no help, no motivations, and they'll write this off. We'll write it completely off. They'll be like, hey, next topic, next subject matter. It's a dead end topic because we got the guy. He's in jail. Do we? Do we got all the guys? I don't know if we do. It doesn't make sense to me that he would disassemble it and then reassemble it. I'm not convinced. So
that can't be it. But we're missing something or something. He doesn't take it apart.
Kash said that they found his...
What? Because there's no shot that he would do that. Why wouldn't he just take it with him? Can somebody explain why he wouldn't just take it with him? Did he think they would shut down all the interstates? And, like, why wouldn't he just take it with him?
What we presume was his screwdriver on the top of the building, and they found his DNA on it, leading many to believe he had disassembled the gun when he jumped off of the roof.
Explain how he takes it off the roof. People said that he threw it off the roof. I didn't see that. I didn't see that anywhere. But everyone in chat said they saw it. So he must have, they saw him throw it off the roof. So he threw it off the roof somehow. I don't know. I didn't see that, but everyone in chat saw it. I don't know where it is. Go back. No, make a GIF or circle it for me. I didn't see anything getting thrown off the roof. Okay.
Screwdriver on the top of the building, and they found his DNA on it, leading many to believe he had disassembled the gun when he jumped off of the roof. But then it appears when you guys found it in the woods, it was assembled. So can you provide any clarity on that?
Yeah, and
also, where are we getting this gun in his pants theory? Do we think that that was the case? Is there any evidence for gun in his pants? Where did that come from? Here's him going up and down the stairs. Like, you can't fit it. They're jeans. He had the whole... No, that's a lie. There's no way. From the TMZ video... There's no way there's a gun in his pants. But could you fit it in this backpack? Which leg? The left leg? In the jeans? He's limping in the TMZ video? Well, maybe because he just jumped off a building. But the leg was still bending. He's not fat. Maybe a little skinny fat, barely. I don't think, can this guy really hide a whole ass rifle somewhere here? And nobody sees? Tip of his ass? Oh my God. The limping was before the shooting? Where so he walked with the rifle disassembled in his jeans. We're going to watch this guy next. Let me listen to this.
I was a little hesitant in a media appearance this morning to go into specifics on especially the video and where the gun was. And there's a reason. Again, we only want to be transparent here.
Yeah, just tell us what you
suspect. Yeah, the suspect not cooperating. The video is obviously grainy, and as folks in the video space know out there, we have a number of really excellent tools in our lab, they're doing amazing work, and they've been up and handling this for days now. But the video is very grainy, and I want to be very clear, and I don't want to. There was, I've already seen some online. Yeah, I can see it on the screen. You'll see it's a grainy video now. I've been on that roof in that corner, and when you see the camera and the distance away, it's clearly not the best video. Now, let me just go back to what I said before, and I'll get into the gun. Don't let me forget the gun portion of it. It's because I just want to watch this for a second. You'll see here. Yeah, there's a couple different what we call it. All right, there you go. So we see there's some work.
Down off the listening audience. He's getting down off the roof. He hangs for a couple seconds. He drops to the floor, to the grass, and then he runs. Go ahead, Dan.
Sorry, I forget sometimes there's an audio only. I should be better. This is a former media person. I forget there's an audio component only. We'll watch it.
I got you.
The camera is quite far away. It's not the best camera to see exactly what happened to the gun. However, so we have some working theories, and one of them is that he drops the firearm fully assembled onto the ground and then retrieves it. Now, the firearm we're processing in conjunction with our ATF friends, but the firearm was wrapped in a towel. And as the director said this morning on a cable news appearance, the towel, we did get a pretty strong forensic DNA hit. So that's the only reason. Again, I don't want anyone to speculate, oh, they're not sure where the gun is. Oh, no, we have to be careful what we put out. And the video is not the best quality. It's not, and for no other reason than it's, the video is, that camera where it is not a crime scene camera. It's a camera designed for just general surveillance on campus. And when you're there, you'll see it's a distance away. But I missed my point. I want to wrap this point up because it's really important. You may fairly enough as taxpaying citizens again say, well, during the presser, why release grainy video? Because that is the crime scene there. That's where we have evidence of a suspect who shot from that location. We have a suspect who appears to be on camera there fleeing the location. And we wanted to anchor that, this is really important, to the photos we were releasing. What we didn't want is we release a photo and people say, well, why? Why that particular photo? We thought the video, how the quality is okay, but not, the pixels are not great. We wanted to be sure we could anchor it to, here's why this particular suspect is of interest to us right now.
They don't think they have strong enough video evidence to make their case? They're hedging a lot with regards to... Yeah, when does he pick up the gun if he drops it? Hold on.
About the Charlie Kirk assassination. Okay. I've got this thing disassembled. It basically comes apart into 4 groups, or four components, maybe 5 depending on the application. Immediately, the stock assembly comes off. That is going to measure just under 30 inches, and there may be some variables in the gun that was used. There are different stock lengths out there. There's different lengths of pole, different forend lengths. The one he used looked like it was pretty much...
Yeah, because I was going to say, you can see, well, at least on my guns, I can see like very clearly. I don't think I've removed... No, the stock doesn't come off my Browning. I can take it off my AR-15 and my Benelli. But where's the picture of his gun? The stock doesn't look like it comes off his gun. Does anybody have a picture of his gun again? This is how he hit it. He changed his clothes on the roof, by the way. No, shot. Wait, didn't Charlie...
Yes. So,
Wait,
so when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then...
Wait, wait, before he shot, though. Oh my God. Is there a chance they wouldn't be able to prove this in court? No, stop. We're hyping this up so much. This is going to be the most boring case, and it's obvious they have him.
Changed back into that clothing at some point so that when
hold on.
Yes. So when he's first spotted on campus, he has different clothing on, and then he changes clothing on the roof, and then changed back into that clothing at some point so that when he was apprehended, when he was arrested,
the next day. Wait. He doesn't get arrested, though, until like a day later, right? Wait, what is that statement?
The clothing matched the clothing he had on before the...
Oh, wait, and they accounted for that. Didn't they account for that in the text messages or something? Because the dad was like... Because they said, when the family talked to him, they said, should I wear the exact same clothes when I go to the FBI? Wait, they said that, didn't they? Find that in the indictment. Fuck. Wait, it was 2.5 days later? Oh no. Oh fuck. I'm gonna go schizo. Destiny, wait, the Discord messenger said he changed in the bushes where he leaves the rifle. Well, Wait, somebody find the go back to the text messages to see where he said he changed. Oh, why am I doing this? Where are all the text messages? Do they show up in this? Wait, you don't think this is the FBI trying to give themselves an out, right? No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. These are two separate people that this text message is supposed to refer to, right? To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret until I died of old age. Wait, then why did he leave a note? Maybe in case he died? Wait, why did he leave a note? Wait, because we could say he left the note in case he died, so there'd be a note under his keyboard. But in that case, if he got away, why would he tell his roommate that there was a note at all? Why wouldn't he just go back to the apartment and grab the note? Because we didn't have anything in the first 2 days, right? I'm still okay, my love, but I'm stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long till I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. What is he waiting for? Why? This is the note that was destroyed, apparently? Yes. Yeah, the note was destroyed. Who is the suspect in similar clothing? Wouldn't we know everybody that the FBI is talking to? We saw 2 videos. A guy who had a BB gun, and then a guy who had... Who's the suspect in similar clothing? Two people were arrested soon after the shooting. One was conservative libertarian activist George Zinn, who was arrested on campus grounds after claiming to have shot Kirk. We saw that guy, right? He later told police he was glad he was shot, so he was... Then reportedly had a Hitler's release. Hours after the shooting, FBI Director Kash Patel announced on social media that the subject in Kirk's killing had been apprehended. Oh, but we don't know this person. Wait, do you think that they were planning something else and they fucked up here? And this is why they announced it and then... Because we don't know anything about this person, right? Do we? Have they named this guy? Why hasn't this person come forward? What if this guy, they found this dude, he was like a hardcore MAGA guy, and they were like, bro, we gotta let you go. We're not ready for this right now. We're gonna find some other dude. And they looked up all the trans people or gay people in the area, and they're like, listen, like, what's up with the, why does he put on clothes and take off clothes and... Wait, what? Stop. This is done. I'm done. I'm done after this. 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 We're not looking at this. Wait. New charges filed. George Zinn, the initial measures. Towards the end of the interview, the agents asked to go into his phone, and George allowed them. The agents asked if there be anything illegal on the phone, and George mentioned that he uses the phone to look at child porn. Wait, what? Oh, wait, what is this? The agent sat with George briefly and looked at some of the phone's contents with George. The photos containing images of prepubescent female children around the age of 5 years old? Ooh. What? We have to stop. Now I am going to get killed by the FBI. We're disengaging from this. Hold on. More schizo shit. I don't need more schizo shit. Is there anything illegal on your phone? Yes, officer. I have multiple pictures of child porn and like real, like 5-year-old child porn, not like, you know, like whatever jailbait shit. Like, oh, it's 5-year-olds. Why would he let them go through his phone? Why would he even? LOL. There's this. They say he's 22. If that's him on April 16th, 2003, as the pictures are labeled. Wait, he wouldn't even be alive. Or no, wait, they just mislabeled it, right? They must have just mislabeled the picture. Tyler runs in with a machine gun on April 16th, 2003 from the Facebook. No, this is just a mislabel, right? It probably was like 2013 or 2018 or because this came from his mom's Facebook or something. Yeah, maybe 2023 with a bazooka on April 16th. I can tell you that this is bullshit because because we didn't have cameras this good in 2003 from fucking cell phones. This would be on fucking some bullshit. Okay, hold on.
Standard, didn't look like he cut anything off on the front end. He also didn't have any slings mounted that I can get any kind of clue on the photos. I didn't see a sling swivel. He wouldn't have needed one in his application, so I have removed it and it's out of the discussion. So this is the actual part of the firearm that is most important, the barrel and the receiver assembly. The overall barrel length on this is, looks like it's about a 22 going from the chamber forward. And the overall length of this component is just about 31 and a half inches.
Why did the guy disassemble, reassemble, do all this shit? Why did he leave the screwdriver on the roof?
The scope on, we do know that there was a screwdriver allegedly found at the scene. It's very easy that he could have removed the scope if he needed to for transport, but I think if he thought this out, he probably tried his best not to remove that scope because it may have affected the zero on his rifle. We've got two pieces that are roughly within 30 inches. We've just taken the overall length of that rifle down by 14 inches, and that's going to be the difference in this transport configuration. Aside from that, you got the magazine and trigger guard assembly, and you've got the actual bolt of the rifle itself that feeds into the receiver, locks down, and your firing pins in there, and when you pull the trigger, it goes boom. So those are the 4, maybe 5 components that he 100% had to have to make this thing work. These, I mean, the bolt itself is just under 8 inches long. This magazine assembly is about 9. So this is something that could have easily been stuffed in the backpack that we're seeing him wearing, along with the 4 total rounds of ammo.
But the barrel and the stock plus whatever, I don't know if you would call this a receiver, right? I don't know what you would call it, but.
So I'm not so concerned with this being on the person, got to be stashed on the person
Not
somewhere.
so concerned. He's going to tell us, though. How did Charlie Kirk's shooter get a Mauser in his pants? Oh, no, I thought this was going to be like how he did it. Not like it's impossible to do it.
For our purposes of this demonstration, I'm just going to exclude these out. We're going to focus on the barrel and the receiver and the stock and how he may have carried those components into where he took the shot from and assembled the rifle. I've already shown in a video before that I was able to assemble this rifle in right at a minute exactly. And I have not pulled this rifle out of the case for 20 years. I've never actually taken it apart myself to this degree in the entire time that I've been around. This was my dad's hunting rifle he got when he was in 8th grade. He bought it new in like the 60s. So as far as I know, this gun's never been apart. And to me, that tells me this was within the realm of possibility. If I could just pick this thing out to pull it apart and put it back together that quickly, that this gentleman probably could have done it a lot quicker. He was also using a synthetic stock instead of the walnut stock, which means that it was a lot smoother on the interior. I don't know if you could see, but inside of that stock magwell, there's a lot of rough space here. Same with the stock of this rifle. In some sort of a mold, the interior was probably a lot took me. So I'll get these pieces out of the way and we'll start stuffing my pants. Let's get the most important thing out of the way. You could theoretically take the shot without the stock. All you really need is this and the bolt. You wouldn't want to hang on to it, but it's possible. So let's get the first thing out of the way. I'm assuming that since this was the longest piece that it was causing so much hiccup in his giddy up, that this is probably maybe what was sitting on his right leg. So I'm going to have to go ahead and throw in my pants here.
Why would you ever? Why wouldn't you just carry a longer backpack or something? The plot was to stuff this in his pants? What is the relative height of the other dude?
I took my belt off. I don't know if the individual was wearing a belt. It would have certainly aided in his ability to keep this stuff contained. Because when you do see him walking, he's kind of, this arm is not moving. It's kind of pressed close to his body like he's squeezing with his armpit. And I have...
Is he though? It's jutting all the way up into his shirt here?
The scope and the receiver right underneath my armpit right now. And let's see what my walk looks like. I wonder if I can zoom you guys out further. All right. Right now, as it sits, the muzzle of the rifle is just below my knee, which would go to the fact that we saw him moving with no hip movement, but he's still able to move his knee. I can still bend my knee. And
yeah, because it's got to be up in your shirt.
And deliberate, with no arm motion. Okay? This very well could have been how the barrel and the receiver action was stashed. As far as printing on it, let me get a little closer to you and look. Can you see anything apparent on the outside of me? And we have seen some video of him, or the still image.
The thing is, look at his cell phone. His cell phone is printing so much. Oh, you can see it in his video. Look at the cell phone print on the front here. It's like, talk about bulgy-wolgy.
Just we didn't see video, but still, when he was approaching stairs, and his arms are out. I do have my arms out, and the barrel and the receiver is not falling down. I don't want to move very much like that, but it's possible. Now, the stock is significantly thicker than the barrel and the receiver action, especially back here. But this is going to be a little trickier. I wonder if you can go on this side.
Also, this guy, remember I said the other dude is like a more lanky-ish. I wouldn't call him lanky, but like, this is a bigger guy.
Let me pull it back a little. Okay. Now, according to the photos, the mugshots, this gentleman was 72 inches tall or 6 feet. I am somewhere between 5'10" and 6 foot, depending on what pair of shoes I'm wearing and what convenience store I'm leaving that day. He's also a lot thinner. I'm a more husky individual, obviously. But with his thinness, this may have been an advantage. If you look, the shirt does have some drape down here in the photos. Now I have the rifle stock in here. See if I can turn it flat to my chest. Okay. Now, I have the rifle stock. The butt is sitting right in the crevice of my armpit. And the end of the foregrip is, you know the dead leg spot on your quad? I think about 4 inches shy of that. Now let's see what that looks like from the front. Is there any indication that you got that? How's my movement? I'm moving. Let's look at it from both sides and see how much printing we get. I don't know how I move. I think that may be part of the limp, was that he was trying to move without printing the rifle. I don't know what you see on here or how it looks on my hips. If you compare that to the photos beside. Now, one thing I can't do, I can't extend this leg out to the left. I can't extend this one about that far before the stock starts biting on my hip, or excuse me, on my mid-thigh.
Why wouldn't the guy, if he was going to do this, why wouldn't he just wear sweatpants? Am I crazy? Are they so out of style, out of fashion that you would stand out? You couldn't just wear sweatpants? Wouldn't it make it a million times easier?
We have the backpack. Let's add the backpack to the mix. I don't know how big this guy was. Torso length was probably similar to me, a little bit smaller. I also don't know how big that backpack was. But if you can see...
Negative aura?
And I'll have to go look in the mirror because I'm not reviewing this. But I can move like this. I don't know how...
Bruh, wait.
I'll have to go look in the mirror because I'm not reviewing this. But I can move.
Bruh.
Like this. I don't know how... The stairs. We do have him going upstairs. I wonder what that looks like. Should we go out in my stairwell here and look? Okay. So we've seen photos of him on the stairs. We've never actually seen video of it, but I'm going to go up these stairs. See how it was in that one. A couple of shots. He's got his arms out. He's walking up the stairs. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you can walk. So after having chewed over this in the edit for a while, I've come to the conclusion that this was possible, it was doable, and this was probably the most challenging part of the whole thing for him, at least in the preparation and figuring it out and planning stage. Obviously the bolt magazine group, easy to do. The barrel with the scope on it, I don't see being a problem. I struggle most with the stock, and I'll be the first to admit that maybe it's just my round body shape. If I was a little bit skinnier like this guy, I'd probably had a little bit more room to work with to get things tucked in inside a bit on his movement.
With Mochi Health, I've lost 30 pounds. I have no desire to be skinny. I love being a plus-size girl. I just wanted to be healthier for me. When my grandmother died, I knew that diabetes was hereditary. That was my wake-up call.
For these medications, they are designed for long-term use.
With Mochi Health, I never feel alone. It's about progress, not perfection. I've lost 30 pounds, and I'm more me.
Okay.
Check out joinmochi.com.
So this was him walking in the earlier, so he didn't have the rifle with him yet? So he'd walk later? There's a later video of him going with... And then he changed later? That makes sense, though, why you would change later, right? Is he... That's not him? That was 3 hours before the event? How many outfits did this guy have? Stop. Okay, the last one. I'm going to sleep. This is not a productive use of our time.
We also have new video of what police are looking at right now this hour. TMZ has obtained new video of the venue in this neighborhood. Take a look. You can see the images now of that suspect. They're walking in the street, and if you can see, the person is walking with a limp there, and it is...
Was this after or before?
Believed to be because that person has a rifle in the pants, and they're walking very difficult because...
Wait a second. This is before. Oh, okay.
Of that object that is inside
of
the pants. Take a look here of that limp right
Okay, so this is him supposedly walking with the...
there. And you can see there the suspect continuing to walk the street.
Do you think this is less conspicuous? That's less conspicuous than...
Very close.
Just having a longer backpack or something? Or like a camera case or something? Or a...
to where the venue was, and then this is after where we see now that suspect clearly running in the field. And this was all obtained there by TMZ. And of course, police are looking at that. The feds are looking at that as well. But this is the newest video that we are seeing of all this play out. And again, just happening moments ago as well.
Wait. How did he get... Wait. Does anybody have a link to the video of him running after taking the shot? Did it look like he was holding his rifle running after taking the shot?
We are getting a new shot of the person of interest, the suspect, where...
Bro, look at the middle pick and the back of his right leg. Does it look like the barrel could be here? We would need more resolution. Is this before? Maybe? Bulgy Wolgy? Wait, but if it was all the way down his leg there, why is it that here it looks like he almost has his leg bent?
These new images just released by the Utah Department of Public Safety. I want to show you this one as well, a little bit closer up. You can see what they are hoping that by releasing these photos and images, that somebody out there is going to recognize this individual. There is a
Shooter had a bigger wardrobe than his son.
$1,000 reward.
$100,000 reward. And the father turned him in and didn't accept the reward? Wait, why is that? The pastor? Okay, hold on. Now, I don't know much about churches in Mormon place, but where I'm at, churches love tithing. They love the donos. They pass that basket around. Back when I went to church, they do it twice per service. The pastor, nobody would think to take $100,000 and just donate it to his church? A Mormon? Do they not donate money to their churches?
For the capture and arrest of this individual that is accused of killing Charlie Kirk just yesterday. All right, we are going to be keeping an eye on all of this here for you.
Wait, he donated it. Tyler Robinson's father rejects $1 million support for his son, donates entire sum to honor Charlie Kirk's family. Wait, that's a different thing. Wait, then it says $1.15 million reward. The FBI initially offered $100,000 with political figures adding contributions, and billionaire Bill Ackman boosting the total to $1 million. The final figure reached $1.15 million. Aren't they doing a separate... Hold on, so Charlie Kirk's wife got $1.15 million from Bill Ackman and the government, and then they had another GoFundMe?
Now from Fox, again.
What the fuck did Trump just tweet? I don't know. What?
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
I've been really trying, baby.
What is this? Am I supposed to know who this is? Is there gonna be porn up here? This is the Atlanta case, Fannie Willis case?
No.
You've never gone to a cabin with this.
Atlanta DA from Trump's case. Oh, because she was the prosecutor and they were accusing them of fucking up or whatever. Okay. Okay, I don't care. We're done with all this.
Things off.
Yeah, we're not watching our shows. George is in... Wait, what?
Now, all you conspiracy theorists out there, I don't want you going crazy, but what are the odds that George Zinn, the patsy that was arrested at the Charlie Kirk assassination, also saw 9/11, he saw the planes fly into the buildings and called that in or reported it, and then he also called in a fake terrorist attack at the Boston Marathon bombing. And just...
No, I don't believe... Did he... Wait, how many attacks did he call in? This guy's a straight up Nazi, by the way? I would need to see proof of this.
Just track down the internal...
Stop. Wait, why? Yeah, why did we get, if it was wrapped in a towel, why did we get a picture of this in the box? What was the answer to that question? When the cops were scouring the area looking for the shooter, they weren't carrying a long gun evidence box with them. They weren't walking around with it, so someone had to go back, get the box, and walk back with the box to the scene and box the weapon. But it's photographed on grass, not forest floor. Someone's lawn, question mark? Oh yeah, this is a lawn for sure, right? Why move the weapon before photographing it? They wouldn't. You would photograph the weapon in its original spot, probably before touching it, wrapped in a towel or something, right? Shouldn't have been photographed where it was found with an evidence marker tent card. Was the towel not worthy of being photographed? Why not? I thought it was wrapped in a towel. Where is the towel? Oh, but the FBI got DNA from the towel that we don't see. Cool story. Destiny, this is clean. This looks like an image of the gun the family sent to each other referring to the grandfather's gift. Okay, I'm leaving. All right. I'm trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but I have a really hard time believing in a short text exchange. The alleged shooter makes his confession, confirms location of the weapon, confirms the type of weapon, confirms it was wrapped in a towel, confirms his motive, exonerates the decoy, admits to the bullet engravings, confirms the wardrobe change, confirms how long he's been planning it, discloses the existence and location of a now destroyed pre-written confession note, randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is a diehard MAGA, as if he wouldn't already know given the nature of their relationship. Oh, true. Wait, what does he say? How does that sound to it? Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Why is... Don't talk to the media. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent. So this is why they also didn't go to the media initially? Or why they didn't say anything initially to give them the out there? Disclose. Okay. Randomly tells his boyfriend that his dad is and is worried about his dad slash grandpa being upset if he doesn't come home with the rifle. Not the fact that he just used it to commit a murder. Not to mention a 22-year-old terminally online Zoomer using phrases like squad car, drop point, swept the area, my vehicle. Oh, vehicle is probably the weirdest thing. Till I died of old age. And my old man. Some of these might just be weird things that fucking Mormons say. Or people from fucking Utah. I don't think I know anybody from Utah. I don't know if I know a single motherfucker. Delete this exchange? Yeah. I don't know if I've ever used the word vehicle in my life. Hold on. My vehicle? Let me see. I'm going to search my Discord. Have I ever said that word in my life? Has anybody I known ever said that word in my life? Vehicle? I'm going to pick you up in my vehicle in a moment, okay? Oh, I have like, as a vehicle for change. It's a vehicle, this is like vehicle tax. You're using MAGA as a vehicle for power. Wait. Who the fuck says vehicle? Wait, did he say my vehicle? Because they haven't figured out a fake car or truck yet. They don't know what the vehicle is going to be. Okay, we're done with this. Oh! This is absolutely fake, though. I know this is fake. No conspiracy. From fucking that Phil Labonte loser. I got this right after Charlie was killed. Was friends with this guy for a decade, no more. Fuck, they missed. Is this about Charlie Kirk, question mark? Yeah, guess it must be a mental problem, but it's too early to start politicizing the incident. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm a terrible person. He's fucking dead. He is? I thought he lived. I didn't actually know that. Don't fucking text me. I don't need to hear any of your fucking shit politics anymore. I can't fucking believe you. I didn't know that. In all seriousness, I retract it. Sorry. Fuck off, you monster. Radical techie, raped techie. What?
And to imply that I'm a rapist after I myself have been raped.
Stop. Jesus, stop. I don't even know. Stop. I don't even know what the context is. Stop. My God. Stop. Okay, I'm leaving. Okay, listen. I love you all. Stay safe. Be careful. Hopefully I'm back in 3 days. Otherwise, it's been a wild ride. If I get killed, don't let anybody do anything gay with my death, and all my money goes to DGG and development in the future, and turn it into a bulgy furry site. Just kidding. Okay. I love you all. Be careful. Stay safe. Okay. Biden out.